As well as that, Shopify Rebellion are actually the second highest rated team in North America in Game Changers. So it's definitely going to be an interesting matchup here as we get things kicked off. Already a lot of pressure up the short position, looking to see if they can draw any additional utility. You get rid of some of that initial Astra util, which is always nice. It does allow you to kind of just sow the seeds of doubt in your opponent as you diminish the utility and keep the pressure on him. Mel obviously is quite dangerous with the headhunter, so could definitely open things up here.
Well, that knife will actually tag 3 members of Cloud9 White, though, coming through long, leaving Alexis by herself over the middle. But as Katz is able to find first blood, the defenders at B are actually stuck right now inside of Hookah, but they're able to at least find one for free. Mel on the return, though, takes down one of her own, so the trades do favor Cloud9 White as they get the spike planted.
And KP, actually gets a bit of damage there onto Mel, forcing them back a little bit. Trying to create some openings here for Flowerful. Coming in from Hookah, KP actually able to find the frag there on Katsumi, and there is a small opening here. The Flowerful just making her way forward. Timing is... I thought it was good, but it's not going to work out. Jazzy with a fantastic response, and Cloud9 will pick up the pistol.
Best overall ACS carrier right now. So that's going to be a really important matchup. So cheers to Jazz for getting the double and giving us the easy segue as we jump into the anti-eco second round.
Yeah, and I'm looking forward to seeing essentially pretty much everything that Shopify Rebellion does. Again, this is such a strong map for them. You see Jazzy is going to make her way up towards Hookah for some pressure, see if she can find something here. And knowing that the opponents are very likely on pistols, you start off slow, you've got the trademarks to cover for any pushes. They spread out the map initially to catch anything like that, and now we're seeing the gravitation towards that B site, the walk up long. Really smart because you don't really have to worry about any angles. You can use the numbers here and the advantage with those Spectres. So it's a really nice anti-eco for Cloud9 White.
Flower still going to stay stacked with KP. If the rendezvous were to be used, it would put Flower back in towards Elbow, but no chance. Alexis for the opening double allows the spike to get planted without contest, and the late wrap here from Shopify Rebellion is kind of in pieces. You had one player move through teleporter. That's going to be Sonder. And as Lori is able to find an opening, at least towards the front of the site, it's very quickly Annie who picks up the area, making sure that there is no further movement through the defending spawn. So now it's just really, for Shopify Rebellion, you're just playing for exits. And to be fair, there's a shorty around the corner that could punish, and so far it will. Sonder able to take down an opener, and now Cloud9 White are almost trapped on site, even though they've largely guaranteed the round, and, well, Mel will force it opening as the double through the defensive spawn will allow an exit.
Yeah, some okay damage, all things considered. Sonder will go down with the bomb to make sure you get all that extra monies. And I had nothing really to take away from that round, except the fact that, Cloud9 White have showed one of the anti-ecos that they run, and the timings and the way that they have the setups. And so that's something that is worth bearing in mind for Shopify if they are to find themselves in that position in the future. They could create setups on Tree, for example, and if they are going to gamble, that we'll see something similar. But Cloud9 White is Cloud9 White, and they would likely have multiple setups for their anti-ecos. So
that's the really interesting thing, is just going into the pistol upgrades for the players that had fallen on that opening look towards B. So some respect is going to have to be given here by Cloud9 White, kind of taking an even more hindered approach towards how quickly they could burst onto site, especially considering that Jazzykins is one of those players with a Sheriff. So you don't necessarily assume that Jazz will double blast pack into site like you normally expect Razes to do from this position at Hookah.
Yeah, and there's the trademark to spot the aggression here. That'll be dealt with. And the 3 players ready to just defend this B site. I like the setup here on Garden for Shopify Rebellion. It has to do the damage, though. Spike is going to fall down on the ground. Shopify do a great job here on the defense. Flowerful in particular with those 3. It's going to make life quite easy for the remainder in Sonder and Panini. And he is in the open and gets caught. So really nice defense there overall from Shopify. They read that one pretty well. I think they realized there's only so many.
They must have seen something yesterday from Shopify Rebellion, thinking that they could counter it outright. So we'll have to see if that comes through, and it would have to be on this first half, by the way, as well. So a battle of boombots over towards Showers, and actually Jazz does get hit by that pretty hard. It's going to force the regrowth out early, and no armor now for Jazz.
Yeah, and I like this. You've got a possible retake setup here for Shopify Rebellion. Indeed, there go the paint shells to really make sure that life is as difficult as possible. So the default's essentially running its course for Cloud9 on this attack. It's a very slow default. They're playing both sides of the map, and Shopify might make an information play quite soon, and the slow of this pace of Cloud9 might end up catching Shopify off guard if they end up going for a push, because they've got to be antsy at this point. They've seen absolutely nothing. Alexis trying to keep things honest towards Showers with a quick flash as the rest of the team moves towards that B push.
The thing too, though, Dan, about this is for Shopify Rebellion, as much as you would love to have information, you're still so comfortable in your setup due to the fact that that trademark was going to give you your first bit of intel over towards B long. So as that's denied, KP will back out of Hookah in order to play over towards Elbow. That's still where the rendezvous exit would be for Flower, but here comes Cloud9 White. That Nerf will actually find a lot of information. KP inside the Sky Smoke comes through at the exact right time. That's going to be a 3-for-1 exchange, but Melton Operator keeps things interesting by getting a double.
Yeah, looking really good here for Shopify. No time here for Mel, and no ground to be gained.
By the way, just for the next gun round, I would love to see Cloud9 White do something a little bit more aggressive over towards Hookah. They really haven't shown too much force on the early set of these rounds. It's largely been kind of a delayed peak. And, well, this round is kind of whatever. I mean, you've got rifles and sniper rifles looking down all the way through Hookah, which is good for the first 2 kills. But then, as it looks like SR is going to clean this one up pretty cleanly, I would be just really curious to see what Cloud9 White wants to set up next time through, because that's going to be a Prime Gaming flawless. And once again, those same hotspot areas around Hookah have been a problem so far.
Yeah, so that's going to make for a very interesting next gun round, as we'll have that coming up in a moment. And see anti-eco here from Shopify Rebellion. But it'd be interesting. We might see something a bit more speedy Thunder. So that's a great ult to find the initiation. So we might, there's 2 ways you can go with it. In fact, we're going to see the orbital strike coming through straight away to try to punish the setup here on Showers for Shopify. But Sonder's able to get away, and there's no punish.
None at all. Not even close to even getting a punish. That's a very expensive opening for Cloud9 White, and really all they get here, Dan, is maybe shower control. I hesitate to say it confidently because there are still 3 defending members here for Shopify Rebellion that could make a play to try to retake this if they want to. That's the second flash gone. So now as far as getting in with an execute is concerned, you're kind of low on utility, and here comes the play to retake Showers. It's beautifully done for SR. You're going to start to get a rotation coming to the teleporter for KP as they're going to commit in towards the initial Hunter's Fury to try to make sure that, yeah, A is completely held, and now it's down to the other side. Can Flowerful hit a shot with 2 to force to lock down B?
Yeah, it's looking really good. Oh, it's actually going to be a whip, though. Still staying in position. You've got that rendezvous to fall back on. Out comes Cloud9 White, trying to make their way through, but the delay's been good enough here. Nice underhanded flash coming through from Laurie to slow things down even further, and now with the slow field, there's no way to advance.
Wow.
And that's another Prime Gaming flawless back-to-back there for Shopify Rebellion. Looking quite good so far.
Say peculiar, it's like, oh, that was interesting and cool, but it was interesting and kind of bad. They don't get anything with it, and then you use your last remaining flash out of your sky, and Shopify Rebellion just count and say, okay, they've got no more flashes left. Let's try to work our way back in with numbers, and it works out brilliantly. Cloud9 White, and that's a great early defensive control for them. 4-2 up, and Cloud9 back to pistols.
Yeah, they didn't have anything to follow up the orbital strike, which was interesting, but you can see that, they were good in terms of that read, because Shopify Rebellion have been playing very much for the Showers control, or at least to contest it at the very least and keep tabs on it. They're not giving it for free, and this round is the same story. Sonda is watching over that, and again, Cloud9 slowing things down a little bit to try to see if they can catch something. Now they'll make their way forward into that A site, see what they can find. The fault line going through APC as well as they try to gain ground towards the site, but it's going to be very difficult. Panini there, just watching over Showers still. Always good with Sonder in this Showers position, and they're trying to split onto the site, but it's going to be very difficult. Annie somehow gets around the side, around sight, and there is some damage here, but I don't know how they're going to plant the spike with all of this action.
Yeah, they're trying to meld and live in the chaos, and okay, hold on a second, couple of shots will connect. Mel is able to take a Vandal off the ground. That's going to be enough to open up the site, and now Jazz, with the showstopper earned, wants to make sure the backside of Showers is clear, and this actually may lead to a full rotation back over towards B, especially now that they see KP, who somehow lives through that showstopper rocket. There'll be enough time for a plant, but man, I'll tell you, there are still so many different pieces of utility that KP could use to try to get this retake in cleanly.
And there's the TPs coming through here for Shopify, trying to see if they can find a way to get the retake going. And I would expect both of those will be heard by C9 White, so they'll have a good sense as to where these two players are coming from. As the Nova Pulse right at the back of the site, but safe in the tube is Jazzy. I'm waiting for the perfect moment. Here's a drop down. A good shot. Is there going to be a... Oh, beautiful cover coming there from Panini. And that, I mean, wow. Cloud9 knew exactly where both players were coming from. They had a good setup, but the confidence from Shopify is really working wonders at the moment.
Be 8 for 8 if they do pop this kind of gravity well into smoke cover. Yeah, they'll very quickly realize nobody's here, so you can hold on to that start or pull it back if you want to. Delayed knife through mid will once again scout out Mel. And Shopify Rebellion get everything they want. They love this position. It's always been defense inside of this A shower spot. AP has been uncontested here at B long. This time through, the fault line will likely force him to rotate, but as you have shower control, you're safe to do this.
Yeah, and it's... We talked about it, that you can play for the retake, right? We've got the Astral Divide going in straight away. Quite early, actually, before anyone is actually able to even get there. So we'll see how that comes into play. Oh, looks like the gravity well will just about miss the planter there. And Shopify, you know, working on the full retake. Operating out of showers, hookah and spawn.
I don't know how you retake this mountain lost flower inside of elbow. It has to be from the front. Lord does get one good flash out, and then Panini clears out elbow single-handedly just by holding on towards the defensive spawn. Last members for Cloud9 White trying to use this Rolling Thunder to stop any potential diffuses. But the problem about this was you also hit Annie in the process, and oh, SR just completely isolate. It's absolutely flawless from Shopify Rebellion, and you start to get to a point here where you start to question, why did we pick this map in the first place when Haven was still open for you for Cloud9 White? Because they have not had a single good look in their gun purchases yet.